needs to change.
The way the guys are at the shop, they basically made that thing and it looks just like the back one. You could never tell the difference.
Also make money on stuff like this.
For 6 seasons, Rick Dale and his team at Rick's Restorations turned rusty junk into treasure, captivating millions of viewers with their skill and passion. Fans tuned in to watch history come alive, witnessing both restorations and family dynamics that felt authentic. Then, without warning, it all stopped. The crew vanished, the shop disappeared from screens, and fans were left wondering what really happened. In this video, we uncover the shocking reason American Restoration came to an abrupt end. From junk to fame, how Rick Dale's journey began. Before American Restoration, Rick Dale was just a craftsman with a small Las Vegas shop and a remarkable talent for reviving old treasures. His journey to reality TV stardom began in the unlikeliest of ways, through Pawn Stars. When the hit show debuted in 2009, America became obsessed with collectibles. Rick's expertise quickly made him the go-to restorer whenever an antique needed attention. His first appearance on the episode Time Machines didn't just show skill, it revealed authenticity, something rare in reality television. He wasn't seeking fame, he simply breathed life into objects others deemed worthless. Rick's love for restoration began at 9 when his father challenged him to fix a broken bike pulled from a neighborhood dumpster. That spark ignited a lifelong passion. By October 25, 2010, American Restoration premiered, offering a window into the chaos and triumph of Rick's shop. Viewers met Rick, his wife Kelly running the business side, son Tyler learning the craft, brother Ron handling pickups, stepson Brett Lee, and Cowboy, the grumpy but brilliant metal polisher. Beyond the restorations, audiences were drawn to the genuine family dynamics, Rick's hopes for Tyler, and the real pressure of turning decades-old relics into masterpieces. The show quickly captured hearts, averaging 2.9 million viewers weekly and airing in over 87 countries. Celebrities like Billy Joel, Jason Mraz, Sammy Hagar, David Copperfield, and NASCAR driver Greg Biffle brought prized items for restoration. One episode, Pick, Pawn, and Polish, drew a staggering 6.5 million viewers, the highest-rated episode in History Channel history. Rick had become more than a restorer. He was a symbol of American ingenuity and craftsmanship. But as fame grew, so did the pressure, and the show began to shift in ways no one expected. Behind the cameras, forces were quietly reshaping Rick's world, setting the stage for conflicts that would soon threaten everything the shop and the show stood for: the peak, the pressure, and the first cracks. As American Restoration gained momentum, the projects became bigger, wilder, and more varied than anyone could have imagined. One week, Rick and his team might breathe life into a 1946 Harley-Davidson, a vintage Coca-Cola machine, or even a NASA helmet. 6 to 12 projects ran simultaneously, each with tight deadlines and rare parts that tested the crew's skills. Crossovers with other History Channel favorites, like Counting Cars and American Pickers, expanded Rick's fame, but they also introduced a subtle shift in the show's focus. At first, viewers loved it, a window into genuine craftsmanship paired with authentic family dynamics. But success brought pressure. Networks wanted faster timelines, heightened drama, and bigger moments to keep audiences hooked. Reality TV, it seemed, was slowly taking over restoration. Behind the cameras, producers from Left Field Pictures, the same company that brought us Pawn Stars, started scripting customer interactions and manipulating timelines. Some restorations were filmed twice, staged for dramatic effect. Fans noticed. Complaints started emerging online. Fewer restorations, more tension, and conflicts that felt forced. One glaring example involved Rick's brother, Ron, selling a Coca-Cola machine on Pawn Stars, pretending not to know Rick, only to send it back for a staged restoration. The stunt shattered the show's authenticity. Then came a golf ball slot machine controversy, further fueling doubt about how real the series really was. While audiences had tuned in for skill, history, and transformation, they were increasingly seeing scripted arguments and manufactured drama. The show was drifting away from its roots, and Rick's genuine craft was being overshadowed by the network's demands. The cracks were widening, but no one could have predicted just how far reality TV pressures would push Rick and his team. The decisions made behind the scenes were quietly undermining the shop's authenticity and setting the stage for a turning point that would change the course of American restoration forever, when restoration becomes a performance. What viewers didn't know was just how tightly the reins had been pulled behind the cameras. Not every restoration was as authentic as it seemed. In one infamous instance, a customer's slot machine was beyond repair, but rather than showing its demise, Rick tracked down an identical model in California, shipped it to Las Vegas, and presented it on screen as the original. Fans were none the wiser, but the line between reality and performance had already blurred. By this point, producers were calling almost all the shots. Rick no longer chose which items to restore. The network decided. Prices, timelines, and even which customers would appear were negotiated by producers, not the shop. And while Rick and his crew earned more money per episode than ever before, the trade-off was a subtle but powerful one: control. Every scene, every restoration, every surprise reveal was orchestrated. Deadlines became absurdly tight. Projects that normally took weeks were condensed into a few days, creating tension that wasn't natural. It was manufactured for the cameras. New characters were introduced purely to stir drama. Leonard, one such addition, left fans baffled and frustrated, a reminder that the show was no longer just about craftsmanship. Online forums lit up with complaints. "We tuned in for restorations, not forced arguments," one viewer wrote. "You barely see the work anymore. It's just people arguing." Even professional restorers cringed. Overly bright paint, incorrect fonts, and replaced gears stripped original items of their history, all for visual effect. The very artistry that had made Rick's restorations a must-watch was slowly being overshadowed by scripted tension. As the show spiraled into manufactured drama, the pressure on Rick intensified. His passion for genuine restoration collided with the network's desire for entertainment, and that collision was reaching a point of no return. Every episode seemed to push him further from the craft he loved, building toward a shocking decision that would shock fans and turn the future of American restoration upside down. The show's sudden end, Rick's bold decision. After years of pouring his heart into every restoration, Rick Dale reached a point he could no longer ignore. The passion that had fueled American restoration was suffocating under the weight of scripted drama and producer control. Every project, every interaction, every reveal had become less about restoration and more about entertainment. The authentic craft he loved was now secondary to deadlines, camera angles, and forced conflict. When the History Channel approached him about returning for Season 7, Rick made a shocking choice. He walked away. Millions of dollars were on the table, but he refused to compromise the integrity of his work. For Rick, it wasn't just about money. It was about control, authenticity, and respect for his craft. In a heartfelt video to fans, he explained his decision, urging them to voice their disappointment to the network. He looked worn, yet resolute, a man protecting his legacy. The network's response was swift and unyielding. There were no negotiations, no attempts to address Rick's concerns. Instead, History Channel moved forward without him, leaving his team, the crew fans had come to love, for another story entirely. Rumors swirled, declining ratings, difficult personalities, or client issues, but insiders revealed a far simpler truth. A craftsman unwilling to sacrifice authenticity, clashing with a network hungry for drama. Rick's exit wasn't just dramatic, it was transformative. By walking away, he ended the show in its original form, leaving a void fans would feel immediately. The very elements that had made the series special, Rick's talent, his family's chemistry, and the authenticity of the restorations, were gone. With the show rebooted around new shops and unfamiliar faces, the magic faded almost overnight. Viewers struggled to connect with strangers, and the diversity of restorations that had captivated millions was reduced to repetitive vehicle work. What followed was a backlash the network hadn't anticipated, signaling that some creative replacements could never fill Rick Dale's shoes. The reboot that backfired. Season 7, January 1st, 2016, marked the return of American restoration, but what appeared on screen left longtime fans stunned. Gone was the familiar Rick Dale and his close-knit crew. In their place, the History Channel unveiled a completely new concept: 5 separate restoration shops scattered across the country, each with its own projects, owners, and staff. On paper, it seemed ambitious, even exciting. In reality, it felt hollow. Viewers immediately noticed what had been lost. The charm of one shop, one family, and one continuous story, the very elements that had made the show relatable, were gone. Instead, episodes jumped between locations, each segment feeling disconnected and rushed. There was no emotional investment, no sense of continuity, no attachment to the people behind the restorations. Familiarity and warmth had vanished. The focus on vehicles only compounded the problem. Previously, American Restoration had offered an eclectic mix: antique soda machines, slot machines, barber chairs, motorcycles, and more. Season 7 narrowed its scope to cars, trucks, and bikes. The variety that had made the show unpredictable and thrilling was gone, replaced by repetition and monotony. Even big-name projects couldn't save it. George Clinton's 1920s piano, David Copperfield's museum pieces, and NASCAR trophies from Kyle Busch and Marcus Smith couldn't recapture the magic that Rick and his crew had created. Fans were vocal and unforgiving. Online forums lit up with frustration. No connection to the audience, focused mostly on vehicles and spread across too many garages, one wrote. Another added, jump, jump, jump on the project. Someone in management should have been fired for changing everything. The educational heart of the show was stripped away as well. Early seasons had walked viewers step by step through restorations, teaching techniques, and the history behind the items. Now, items simply went from rusted to pristine, with little explanation or insight, leaving enthusiasts disappointed and disengaged. The ratings reflected the audience's reaction. Episodes that once pulled in millions now struggled to hold viewers' attention. The carefully cultivated bond with the original cast had been lost, and no amount of flashy projects or celebrity appearances could replace it. The reboot served as a stark reminder. The essence of American Restoration wasn't just the work, it was the people behind it, the stories they told, and the authenticity that drew viewers in. Within 3 months, on April 1st, 2016, the History Channel quietly cancelled Season 7. The series that had dominated the network, captivated millions, and immortalized Rick Dale's craft was officially over. But what became of Rick, his family, and the original crew after the show ended? How did they adapt to life after television fame? The story of their next chapter is just as surprising as the show's sudden end. The untold story after the show. When American Restoration ended, it wasn't just a TV show that vanished, it was a world fans had grown to love. Rick Dale had walked away from millions of dollars and national fame, but his priorities were clear. He wanted to reclaim control over his life, his business, and his craft. The transition wasn't easy, but each member of the original crew took a unique path forward, carving new lives outside the glare of reality TV. Rick, ever the innovator, shifted gears entirely. He closed the large-scale restoration shop that had been central to his fame and opened My Best Font-Forward Creations, a smaller, family-run business focused on laser-cut designs, custom embroidery, and Christmas decor. Though it was a departure from massive restorations, Rick's eye for detail and precision remained intact. He also pursued writing, publishing Classic Soda Machines, a book reflecting his deep knowledge and love for Americana, proving that even away from cameras, his expertise still commanded respect. Kelly Dale, Rick's steadfast partner, reinvented herself as a licensed realtor, occasionally hosting car shows and leveraging her television recognition into a completely new career. Tyler, Rick's son, continued his journey in woodworking, metal fabrication, and welding. Though no longer center stage, Tyler quietly honed the skills he had developed on screen, eventually marrying interior designer Hayley in 2022 and establishing a life in Las Vegas that balanced craft and family. Other crew members found their own success. Brettley Ottoman, Rick's stepson, turned his sandblasting and soda blasting expertise into a thriving business, CleanWorks Mobile Media Blasting, now operating 3 rigs and serving clients independently. Ron Dale, Rick's brother, retreated into a quieter life building custom bicycles, while Cowboy, the metal polishing specialist known for his gruff charm, also faded from public view. Rumors of a comeback occasionally surfaced. Rick shared videos of himself restoring antiques, teasing fans with the possibility of a return. He even launched LearnFromRickDale.com, offering restoration training and live Q&A sessions, keeping his legacy alive in a more controlled, intimate setting. Yet, despite these new ventures, one thing remained constant: the physical space where American history had been revived for 6 unforgettable seasons remained closed. The iconic shop, the stage for countless transformations, had become a silent monument to what once was. But the story doesn't just end there. Behind the scenes, the network responsible for the show's rise and its ultimate demise was already plotting its next moves, shaping the fate of the very industry Rick had helped define. The question lingers: what kind of company turns a beloved show into a ghost of its former self? The answer takes us straight to the History Channel itself, inside the decisions that ended American restoration. While Rick Dale and his team brought vintage American back to life, there was another force quietly shaping their fate: the History Channel. Once known for documentaries and serious historical programming, the network had evolved into a reality TV powerhouse, prioritizing drama and spectacle over authenticity. What began as educational storytelling gradually gave way to shows designed to hook viewers with tension, conflicts, and sensationalized storylines. History Channel operates under A+E Networks, a joint venture between Hearst Communications and Disney Entertainment. Its Golden H logo became synonymous with historical authority, but behind the symbol was a company always chasing ratings, global expansion, and cultural relevance. Reality shows like Pawn Stars had already proven that audiences craved charismatic personalities, quirky antiques, and a little manufactured drama. Rick Dale fit that mold perfectly, but his craft demanded more than drama. It demanded respect for history and skill. As American restoration grew in popularity, the network began exerting more influence. Producers pushed storylines, introduced scripted conflicts, and emphasized speed over craftsmanship. The careful balance between education and entertainment started tipping towards spectacle. Decisions about who appeared on the show, how restorations were presented, and even what customers were featured were increasingly made in boardrooms rather than in Rick's workshop. The History Channel's history shows a pattern of reinvention and aggressive branding. In 2008, it dropped the channel from its name, modernized its logo, and pursued global reach with spin-offs like H2. These moves reflected a network unafraid to pivot, even abandon shows or formats that no longer aligned with its goals. While these strategies fueled growth, they also created tension with talent who valued authenticity, like Rick Dale. The very network that gave American restoration life was the one capable of reshaping and eventually ending it. By the mid-2000s, the clash between Rick's integrity and the network's entertainment-first mindset reached a tipping point. The decisions, miscalculations, and branding experiments behind the scenes weren't just corporate maneuvers. They directly influenced the show's content, its cast, and ultimately its fans. And this wasn't just about one show. It was part of a larger struggle for the History Channel itself. Behind the Golden H lay controversies, missteps, and misjudgments that threatened the network's reputation and reshaped its programming strategy. A story that leads directly into the biggest challenges the channel faced next, the final blow to American restoration. By the time Rick Dale walked away, the History Channel was no stranger to controversy. Once celebrated for serious documentaries and historical storytelling, the network had shifted heavily toward reality shows and sensational programming. Popular series like Ice Road Truckers, Axemen, and Pawn Stars brought massive audiences, but drew criticism from historians, educators, and loyal viewers who felt the channel had abandoned its roots. Several rebrands over the years reflected this change. In 2008, the channel modernized its iconic H logo and streamlined its name. Later, H2 spun off as a secondary platform for global history content, only to be replaced by Viceland in 2016. Each decision signaled a network chasing trends and demographics, often at the expense of the authenticity that had defined shows like American Restoration. Critics noted the shift. Historian Stanley Kuttner famously condemned The Men Who Killed Kennedy as inaccurate, and US Senator Chuck Grassley repeatedly expressed concern over the channel's waning educational value. Even loyal viewers noticed history-centered storytelling was giving way to drama, staged interactions, and a focus on spectacle rather than substance. For Rick Dale, this created an impossible environment. The network's constant push for bigger drama, faster turnarounds, and attention-grabbing gimmicks conflicted with the meticulous craft of restoration. Meanwhile, viewers grew frustrated as episodes prioritized manufactured conflicts over the art and skill of bringing American antiques back to life. Ultimately, the History Channel's priorities sealed American Restoration's fate. The network had proven that, despite millions of devoted fans and a beloved cast, corporate branding, ratings, and reboots took precedence over integrity and passion. Rick's decision to leave wasn't rebellion, it was preservation, a refusal to let his craft be sacrificed for entertainment. In the end, the story of American Restoration isn't just about one show. It's a cautionary tale about the clash between artistry and corporate television. It's about what happens when networks chase ratings at the cost of authenticity, and how even the most talented, dedicated creators can be forced out when their values collide with the business of entertainment. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed uncovering the shocking truth behind American Restoration. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our next video for more amazing stories.